my texture. Last week's blanket didn't get launched because of technical difficulties, so you're getting 2 blankets this week. This is it, and I think it's my favorite to date. This features skein tones yarn, and I'm showing you haul. Can we just stop for a second and take a moment to appreciate this texture? Stunning. And look at that. It's the exact same on the back. Oh, do you love it? If so, stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous blanket in just a second. Welcome back to another awesome blanket tutorial, if I do say so myself. Today I am showing you how to make the perfect mid-century blanket. You guys, I have shared before that I have a slight obsession with all things mid-century, and this blanket today that I'm sharing definitely shows you my love for it and all of the gorgeous rich textures and colors. So today's tutorial, I'm basically going to show you how to create the stitch. Now, if you head down below into the description box, I will give you all of the details for the stripe count, what colors I use specifically, sizes, and then if you want the PDF to teach you how to do whatever size you want, there are 6 sizes available. That will also be available for purchase down below. So I'm going to show you how to do the stitches, and then I'm also going to show you how to change colors for a row. So this is really, really simple. All this is a 1 row repeat after you get your foundation chain going. So the pattern works in a 2+1 multiple. So if you don't know what that means, it just means you do a multiple of 2. So let's say 120, and then you just add 1 at the end. So once you get to your desired length, or if you're doing, the pattern that you purchased for me, I've already told you what to do, so you don't have to figure that out. So yeah, there's that. This stitch has been called several things, but where I learned it from, I learned it as the rice stitch pattern. So we are going to stick with rice stitch. So I am just going to crochet up 12, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and let's just do a quick double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's go to 18, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we did 18, and now it's just 1 more for that +1. So for your foundation row, and this would be considered the right side, we're going to double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. Now you have a loop on your hook. This does not count as a chain. We're talking about these little guys down here. So the 4th one from the hook, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. A double crochet is a yarn over, insert into the stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we're just going to double crochet our way all the way across. So it's a yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop. You got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Double crochets again. Really simple. And I would love it if you could let me know if you can hear me good. I know on my last video there was some complaint about the microphone situation, and I am still trying to figure that out. I'm slowly getting more and more equipment to help me be better at producing videos for you guys. I just recently purchased a small light kit, and I need to upgrade my mic situation. Hopefully it's better today. I'll find out when I go to edit the video, but I definitely did struggle. And sometimes it sounds fine on my end, but for others, it sounds a little wonky. So hopefully we'll get that remedied today. So once we do those half double crochets all the way across, Almost there, just got a few more. Working our way across. Alrighty, so we are at the end. And now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2 and turn. Now this chain 2 counts as like a half double crochet. And it will throughout. So we're going to skip the first stitch. So the first stitch would be right here where our chain 2 is coming out of. We're going to skip that because that chain 2 is acting like a stitch. And then what we're going to do is front post double crochet. Now, this can seem a little intimidating, so I'm going to try to walk you through this. Now, if you are familiar with my alpine blanket, the original alpine blanket that kind of went viral a couple years ago, I'll link that down below. This uses a similar style of crochet. So a front post double crochet. So instead of working in stitches up here at the top, we're ignoring that for this blanket. We're going to be working in these little posts right here, all these little guys going across. So a front post double crochet, that means that we want the post to point out towards the front versus being pushed to the back. So we yarn over just like we're doing a regular double crochet, but rather than going into the top stitches, we're going to take our hook, and I'm going to try to move my fingers out of the way so you can see. So there's the post. I've stretched the stitches out a bit. I'm going to go behind the post, just like this. So the post is kind of humped in the front of my hook. I'm going to yarn over and draw up a loop and then finish out that double crochet as normal. It's kind of hard to see when you're first getting started because there's not a lot there, but as you saw in the texture at the beginning of the video, it will be more pronounced the further you work up. So then we just continue with a front post, back post double crochet alternating between those. So we just did a front post and now we're going to do a back post. Now back post means we're going to go behind the work. We're going to reach into that same space, those spaces in between. Okay, let me make sure we got it all out of the way. So those spaces in between. So now the hump is pointed to the back versus to the front. Yarn over and then work it like normal. So we'll do a front post into the next one. Yarn over for your double. That's the back post we just did. We're going to go under just like that. Yarn over and draw up a loop. Make sure you're not holding stuff too tight because then it'll be more difficult. And work your double crochet as normal. And then this next one, we're going to do a back. So we come in from behind the humps towards the back, yarn over, draw up your loop, and work it like that. So I'm going to come up just a little closer so you can see. We're going to do a front post. So here's our post. We're going to go under the post. Make sure you remember that. We're going to go behind, so the post is poking towards the back, just like that, and then a front post again into the next one, so just alternating between front and backs, and then a back post right here. Whoop, I lost my yarn. And that'll happen sometimes, especially when you're getting used to it. So if we stop for a second, we can kind of already see the texture beginning to take place. So do you see this one we poked out, and then there's one right here in between that's poked towards the back, poked out, one in between poked towards the back, front, back, front. So the front ones are all sticking out the front. So I'm going to work up these to get us to the end. And then I'm going to show you. Whoops. And sometimes you will get kind of tangled up in the fibers. And that's okay. Just kind of back out a little bit. But I really do love this yarn, and this blanket is hands down one of my favorites. Even my husband was like, oh, yes, love this one. Okay, so I finished this last stitch, and what I'm going to do is leave a long enough tail to weave in. I'll take that string and just pull it all the way through. Bring it back up here. So then what I'm going to do is right here in this last stitch, so we've turned it already, I'm going to go ahead and put my hook in grab my new yarn color, place that on, pull it through that spot. Okay, so we did the chain 2, that counts as the first stitch, and then we're going to do a front post double crochet. So use your fingers. I kind of put my finger on the post so I can guide my hook along. And just go like that. And then we're going to do a back post double crochet. So we come in from behind, push in front of that. See how that fiber just kind of fell off? Just grab it and just put it back on. Not a big deal. And then work your double crochet as normal. And then we need to front post it. Front post double crochet into the next one. And then back post double crochet into the next one. Front post double crochet into the next one, back post double crochet, front post. All right, and back post double crochet, and you just alternate between these front posts and the back post double crochet. So one little thing, and I think that for some people that did the alpine, this would sometimes confuse them. For this particular stitch, whatever you're looking at, so if this is a back post double crochet, you know that you need to work the opposite. You need to work a front post double crochet. So that's the beauty of this particular pattern. You don't necessarily have to be paying super close attention. You just need to look at the stitch and say, oh, that looks like a front post. Okay, I need to work a back post double crochet. The reason for this is that is what is giving you that kind of textured look, the weave, if you will. It kind of looks like a weave a little bit. Then when you get to the last, that chain 2 that you did, you work a half double. So it's a yarn over, insert your hook into that chain 2, draw up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. That's a half double. So already you can kind of see you've got these diagonal lines, and let me pull the blanket in for a second just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So the further you work up, you see how you kind of have like a diagonal of ridges. So this would have been our base where we started, and you can see just how the texture just works up beautifully. And it's what's really cool for me is it's literally the same on both sides. It looks exactly the same. Your color change, it pokes through a little bit, but I like that because for me it gives like a look like it's been threaded. But I literally did the same stitch all the way up the blanket. What I changed was just the colors, and the 2 middle colors, which would be this adobe and this blue color. These 2 middle colors, I did make them longer, but the outside colors, I made them shorter and split them up with black. So just kind of making them a little bit more visually interesting. And then we end with cream. Now, the next video that will be premiering right after this is actually the border for this blanket. I wanted to teach you a different border, something just subtle but kind of cool and doesn't take away from the blanket overall itself, which I think you will enjoy and like. So you'll want to watch that. But other than that, that's literally it. It is so stinking simple, very, very easy. Even if you're a beginner, I think that if you just go slow, and hopefully my instructions were clear enough visually that you understand what it is that you're supposed to grab. You're just remembering to focus on the posts versus the stitches at the top. You actually aren't working into the stitches at all. You're only working around the posts. So if we were to go ahead and start another row, and I'll just do this for the sake of showing you, you chain up 2. You can tell that that stitch is pushed to the back, which means that you need to work a front post double crochet, just like that. And then the next one, you need to work a back post double crochet. So really, really simple. That's it for today's blanket. Friday, you will will be getting another blanket. So you get 2 blankets this week, which is kind of fun. And if you're on the email list, you should have gotten the PDF for free for today. If you're signing up after this goes live, there's still time so you don't miss out on Friday's blanket PDF pattern. But yeah, it's just a little way to say thank you for following along, for supporting, for subscribing. And that is it. I am so sorry that this was delayed, that it didn't get it out Friday, but technical issues were fighting against me, and I think I've gotten it all worked out. So yes, like, subscribe, make sure you turn on notifications, and yeah, that's it. I hope you love the easy mid-century blanket. Bye!